Hey there, friend. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Angel Marie, dedicated success coach helping entrepreneurs and creators achieve their faith, money, and mental health goals. Let's go. Specifically today, I want to talk about what it looks like for you as an entrepreneur, creator, or an influencer to up your productivity and your focus within your business. I actually get this question a lot within the students that I coach because so many of them are frequently burnt out, incredibly overwhelmed, and there's just so much to do in the midst of starting, growing, and scaling a business that it ends up completely tanking their productivity and focus long term. So let's dive into some things that you can do for your mindset, your mental health, and just your overall well-being to fix that. The very first thing I would say, and you may not like this, but you gotta wake up earlier. I know you've probably already seen this piece of advice floating around online somewhere, and maybe you just have yet to implement it. Well, as a new entrepreneur myself, I am a living, walking testimony to tell you that it works. But the trick is that you need to discipline yourself to go to bed earlier. I know for me, I started going to bed at 9 p.m. and waking up between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. in comparison to the 7, 8 o'clock a.m. that I was waking up. Your body, your mind, your spirit, it's all fresh in the morning, meaning that naturally your brain is going to start to feel positively triggered and more energized to get work done. So why not leverage waking up earlier to do so? Just by me waking up 2 hours earlier, I'm already getting so much more done in my mornings now than I was in my mornings in my previous life, literally. Now, remember, I did say that it's important to discipline yourself to go to bed earlier in order to wake up earlier to be more productive. The trick with going to bed earlier, in my opinion, is to shut off all devices at least 1 hour before you actually go to sleep. You can practice sleeping with your phone in a completely different room. You can practice turning the TV off an hour before you go to sleep. Open up a book, read your Bible, meditate, and just be. Not only are you going to have a better night's sleep to re-energize your spirit, but you're also going to naturally want to wake up earlier too. Now, I know you might have kids, you might be working 2 jobs, you might have a lot going on to where you're watching this video and you're like, Angel, going to bed earlier and waking up earlier is just not a possibility for me. If that's you, then my recommendation would be to try to figure out where you can adjust your bedtime and wake up time that works for your schedule, or just go ahead and implement these next tips that I'm about to give you. Second thing, no matter what time you wake up in the morning, I highly recommend that you have a daily God-centered morning routine. The key word there is God-centered. I'm all about teaching my students about business and marketing and entrepreneurial strategies to help them scale their income. But something that I thrive in and off of is making sure that they're prioritizing not only their mental health, but their faith while they're at it. I believe in Jesus. He has completely changed my entire life for the better. And because you were created in his image, because you are uniquely and wonderfully made, everything that you start, do, or produce, that's also uniquely and wonderfully made by you, but from the God that created you as well. And I think a lot of times as entrepreneurs and creators, we get so caught up in this idea of pouring out. We're pouring out content. We're diving into these different marketing strategies. We're pouring out the newsletters. We're on social media. We are everywhere. And although pouring out is great for making a genuine impact on your audience, you also need to pour back in so that you can continuously pour back out long term. Think about a cup that's filled with water. If you just start dripping that water out by turning the cup upside down, eventually there's going to be no more water in that cup. In order for water to be back in that cup, you have to fill it back up with water. I think what a lot of entrepreneurs, creators, and honestly just people in general miss is the fact that our spirits need that. Our spirits need to be filled back up to sustain tomorrow, to sustain the week, to sustain the rest of the year and our lives. And having a healthy, God-centered morning routine can help fill your spirit, your mind, your body back up in the right ways so that you can successfully and healthfully pour back out throughout the rest of the day. And this could look different for everyone. Having a God-centered morning routine could be reading your Bible. It could be listening to worship music. It could be walking outside or just walking around your house praying or meditating. It could be sitting in silence and doing absolutely nothing. I know I have mornings like that often, and sitting in silence just gives God the opportunity to talk to me and to really help give me the peace that I'm looking for and guide my next steps throughout that day. Now, of course, a healthy morning routine can also include and should include working out, a healthy breakfast, maybe taking the time to read a book for a little bit, things like that. All in all, have a morning before your morning. You get it. The next thing that I want to say to help you up your productivity and focus as an entrepreneur is to dive into other passions. We need to remember that life and us, ourselves, we are so much more than the businesses we started, than the content that we create. And sometimes we miss that. Sometimes we're so connected and aligned with our businesses and our content that we forget that there's an entire life, there's an entire part of you that's completely separate from that. And it should be. If you are always an entrepreneur and always a creator 100% of the time, man, you're going to burn out quick. And it's going to start to feel difficult to be productive more consistently because you haven't given yourself space or time to dive into the other parts of you. As humans, we need that. For example, I love to sing. So back in 2022, I joined the worship team at my church, and now I'm singing a couple times a month, and I absolutely love it. Singing has nothing to do with my coaching business. It rarely has anything to do with the content that I create right now, and it's for a good reason. I'm diving into other passions. I am accessing different creative parts of myself that have always been there. And when you do that, it can re-inspire you, it can re-uplift you, it can help you to really analyze all the parts of yourself so that you're not burning out of your business and content creation tactics all the time. Now, of course, there's spending time with family and friends and prioritizing that. Of course, that is a part of you. But also think about, what else are you passionate about? Maybe you love to cook. Great. Join a cooking class. Maybe you're into fashion and that has nothing to do with your business. If you know any local fashion designers in your area, hit them up. See how you could help them out. Dive into other passions and access different creative parts in yourself. And when you do, watch how your productivity and focus in your business starts to scale. The last and one of the most important things that I want to say when it comes to upping your productivity and focus is take frequent breaks. I cannot express that enough. Take frequent breaks. I know for me, I take a full day off of emails, off of social media, off of anything that has to do with work once a week. A full day of none of that. That is my break. That is my Sabbath day. But I'm also taking multiple breaks throughout the day. Matter of fact, this is me checking my own self because it's something I've been slacking on a little bit as an entrepreneur and I need to start it back up because I know how important it is. Honestly, I would recommend every hour or an hour and a half, take a break. Step away for 5 to 10 minutes. Take your eyes off the computer, take your eyes off your phone, take your eyes away from email, social media, from a conversation that you're trying to have with a colleague or a client, anything like that. Step back, breathe, meditate, get some fresh air. Do what you need to do to pause. When you do that, it triggers your brain to put a cap on what you just got done. It makes your brain get off of work mode and start to focus more on how are you actually feeling. Let's do a quick check-in. Let's make sure that you are okay before you dive into the next hour of your work. When you take frequent breaks every hour to an hour and a half, your productivity and focus is going to learn to scale over time. And it's because you're getting into that habit. You're disciplining your brain to pause every now and again. This gives you room to breathe. It gives you space to think. It gives you the availability to just be. As entrepreneurs, as creators, as a person, you need that. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this quick YouTube video. I hope it was helpful. Remember, your business and your content, yes, that matters, but your mental health and your well-being matters too. In fact, if you want some more tips and advice on what it looks like to reprioritize your mental health and sustain the entrepreneur journey in a healthy way, you can check out this next video where I dive deep into certain boundaries to set within your business. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.